Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event March YouTube channel and Near Falls Media. What a week it's been in pro wrestling. What a week it's been in my life. I had a car show. I ran and organized a whole car show along with the brewery I work with. I saw my friend Charlie play in the band Moves. Look him up on Spotify. Look them up on Spotify. Great band, female-fronted, I would say, indie rock band with a bit of a soul influence. If you're into that music, type them up on Spotify. They're great. And then I saw a 7-year-old kid earn an electric guitar. He has an acoustic guitar, and he asked his father for an electric guitar for Christmas. And they said, well, hey, you can't just you can't just, I'm not just going to give you an electric guitar. You can't earn it. You're going to have to put on a show. So my friend is this father's friend, and they helped put on a show. They sold out this tiny little bar in Seagrove, North Carolina, which is aka the middle of fucking nowhere, about a 10-mile drive from where the zoo is in North Carolina, the third largest zoo in North America. It was when I was a kid. That's what they said. I don't know. But yeah, he was playing Tom Petty. He was playing Neil Young. People were singing. When adults came to play, everyone walked out the door. The kid ended up racing like $115. I talked to the father, and he's like, hey, I got him an electric guitar. He's getting it for Christmas. So yeah, big dreams. It's like the Nick Wayne of North Carolina folk rock is this guy Nolan. But you guys aren't here to hear about music. You guys aren't here to hear about car shows. You guys are here to hear about professional wrestling. And goddamn, did we get a lot of it over the weekend. We're going to go into it. I know I didn't give you guys a Dynamite Rampage review. I'm sorry about that. The holidays are catching up. Everything is super busy. But let's rank these matches from Full Gear from worst to first. Cool new set from this show. It sets it apart from the weekly TV, and I think that's something that WWE needs to kind of take advantage of, apart from like WrestleMania or Crown Jewel. These like B-show pay-per-views have no difference from the weekly television shows. It's bad enough that Raw and SmackDown look similar and have the same guys, but do things to separate the big shows from the weekly shows, and that's what AEW did with Full Gear set here. But let's break down every single match from this show from worst to first. Like I said, I've been busy, guys. I didn't get to see Jun Akiyama and Eddie Kingston. I only watched the main show, the kickoff show, or whatever they call it, 0 hour. I didn't see. I wanted to see Hook versus Moriarty, as you guys know, but I was unable to see it. I was able to see the 10th best match on the show, which is the TBS title, Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill. Nyla doing the Eddie entrance, the Eddie Guerrero entrance here. I think this entrance has officially jumped the shark. There's too many people did it to pay homage to Eddie. Now that it's now maybe a trope that comes across as overdone and cheesy. I know she was with Vicky, whatever. Just you hit the sea floor with the paying homage to Eddie with Nyla Rose doing it. I get it. Ray did it. Sasha Banks did it. I'm sure there's a few other people that have done it throughout the years. You kind of, you did JBL at the time. He was kind of mocking it with the limo. You even had the Best Friends kind of, play off of it with the mom's minivan type of thing. But now this is the lowest low. Don't do it anymore. Wait a few years and definitely have, Vicky, I get it. Vicky did. I'm not trying to, I understand the connection with Vicky. That's the only reason I'm not completely shitting on that entrance now. But Jade power bombs Nyla. Nyla hits a Jade with an axe kick. And then Jade hits the Jaded 1, 2, 3. Worst match over with. Jade gets her title back. We'll see where this goes from now. We're getting, I think she's moving on to Bow Wow. Number 9, Saraya versus Britt Baker. There's a great feel-good moment here with Saraya coming out. Don't get me wrong. She didn't pull a Ric Flair. She didn't cry, but it looked like she was about to, which I would understand. I mean, shit, just like her promo said, she came through drug addiction. She came through a broken neck to have this moment at Full Gear. But the match was clunky. First match back, and it really showed. I mean, she's really hot, so it's cool. We'll give her a pass. She ends up winning 1-2-3, beating Britt Baker. Number 8, the TNT title match. This match was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. All these matches were good. There wasn't a bad match on the show. So when I'm sitting here saying this is the worst match on the show, I mean, I enjoyed Jade, Powerbomb, and Nyla. I feel like that was the culmination of the storyline. That's what we wanted to see if you were invested with that storyline. And then you wanted to see Saraya's first match back. So they were delivering with their promises, even though the matches were lower ranked on the show. I'm not saying they're bad. But the TNT title match, this match was fun, but I have a theory here that the guys that are labeled CM Punk guys will not be showcased as much in AEW. Look at FTR. They're carrying around 5 or 6 belts. They're not even on TV as much as Madison Reigns or somebody like that, or Hook. Hobbs is a CM Punk guy. He kind of, they talked about that on AEW press conferences, and I think Hobbs even did an interview with Sports Illustrated or something like that where he mentioned mentioned CM Punk. So that's why he probably took the Powerbomb Symphony here. Joe clocks Wardlow after the Powerbomb Symphony with the TNT title belt. And that's how Joe ends up being, Joey 2 belts. I do not like how there's the rules of anything goes in the triple threat matches. They're kind of ridiculous. As the first thing I noticed was that Joe clocked Wardlow with the title right in front of the referee. And as I was writing it down, the announcers reminded me that it was a triple threat match. And a triple threat match means no holds barred, which is crazy in AEW. They need to change that. They're going to run into a situation where I don't know. It just is too many stipulations on such a basic gimmick match of a triple threat. But now Joe has 2 titles, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Joe is one of my favorite of all time. But he has 2 titles that are virtually mean nothing because they haven't done shit with these titles, but just pass them around for months now. Ever since Cody left, the TNT title has kind of dropped down to really Wardlow coming out and powerbombing people. Then they did the War Joe thing, which screamed, we don't know what to do with these 2 guys, so let's team them up. And then they were like, well, Hobbs is out there attacking Wardlow, which screamed, we don't know what to do with this guy, so we'll just have him fight. But now they fought. What are you going to do now? Joe has 2 worthless titles. Drop one of them. Just get rid of the ROH TV title. I mean, that was like the lower rung title when ROH was a full-ass company. And now they're just a part of a company with too many titles. I'm moving on to the 7th best match, which is the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. Max always kills the freestyle. Swerve gets a part of the railing and puts it outside. That ends up biting him in the ass because Keith Lee went through it via Max Caster's cross body, and Swerve ends up getting rolled up. That's kind of the story of the match here, which I thought was a kind of good story here. I mean, you had 2 teams, Death Triangle and Swerve in Our Glory, going into this pay-per-view with some friction. We found out what happened with the trios match. We'll talk about that a little later. But here, I think shit needs to come to shove here. We need to see Swerve versus Lee. I think that's a great match. I think they're going to have a great dynamic. The quick, fast pace of Swerve versus the dominant big guy in Keith Lee. I think, it's like kind of like Marvel versus Capcom. One guy's Spider-Man, one guy's Hulk. Who's going to win here? We got to have to see what's up. Number 6, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Sting and Darby. It should say Jeff Jarrett, Lethal, and Satnam Singh. They took advantage of the no-holds-barred aspect here of this great match, fun match, brawling match, because Satnam Singh was heavily involved, and I loved it. I love Satnam Singh. I know a lot of people don't, but I like him in this faction. Jeff Jarrett gets a lot of shit, rightfully so. He kind of put himself over way too much in the mid-2000s in TNA, so we all are hesitant to cheer for him now. But 2022 Jeff Jarrett is, as in the body of a wrestling show where he can't just constantly put himself over, is good. Kind of like Triple H. Triple H used to just put himself over and over and over. I guess it was Vince that did it, but he had the ear of Vince, whatever. To the point where I didn't really like Triple H. And then all of a sudden he started booking NXT. And I was like, okay, I'm so weary of Triple H. And then he started booking WWE. And I'm like, okay, I'm so weary of Triple H. But now I like him. I got to admit it. But going back to AEW Full Gear, this was a great match. Super fun. Brawl around the ring. Darby pulled off the old body bag, fake Sting, real Sting in the ring trick. Darby dives off a ladder. Sting catches him. Saddam Singh catches him off a ladder. It kind of was clunky, but it looked cool. And then just launches him up the ramp. Sting dives and takes his big ass down. Coffin drop, guitar shot to the back of Darby Allin. Coffin drop, death drop combo to Sting. You love that fucking spot. Death drop. And then the coffin drop. Not at the same time, though. Too lethal. 1, 2, 3. Sting and Darby Allin get the victory. Really cool to see. You got to love fucking Sting. I mean, who doesn't love Sting? Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm was number 5 out of 10. So right there, the halfway point. The AEW Women's title match. This match was good, but you could see what was coming from a mile away. The crowd wanted Hayter. Everyone wanted Hayter since Forbidden Door, which is the entire time that Storm has had this title. And they really haven't done much to make you want Storm to have the title. Like, there's something missing with that Toni Storm's title reign. And I think that's kind of indicative of AEW. I mean, there was something missing from the Thunder Rosa title reign. There's something missing from the Hangman Page title reign. It seems like, something missing from the Wardlow TNT title reign. They can build the guy they can build the journey to the title, but once you got the title, they don't know what to do, it seems like. But going back to this match, Hayter hits a few jackhammers. Excalibur calls these snap suplexes, but they were definitely jackhammers over and over again. Give Goldberg his due. Running hip attack and wild headbutt drops both ladies. Rebel comes out and cracks Toni Storm with the title. 1, 2. She kicks out of a title shot, so she's tougher than Wardlow. And then out of nowhere, big curb stomp to the title from who is revealed as Baker, covering up in a hoodie and everything. 1, 2. She kicks out. Air raid crash. 1, 2, 3. Hayter gets the victory. Heel during the whole match. Face reaction, which seemed to be the theme of these world title matches. We'll get to that a little later. But right now we're going to be talking about the 4th best match on the show. Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus in the cage, the culmination of a storyline that you can trace back all the way to the beginning of AEW. Jungle Boy jumping all around, living up to his name, bleeding early. Christian Cage opens the cage, gets kicked out, but the damage is done. They were able to escape the cage, get tables, get chairs, get lots of plunder, bring it back into the ring, and it led up to the highlight of the match here. Jungle Boy delivering a huge elbow drop off the top of the cage through a table. Almost missed him. It wasn't pretty, but it was awesome. That's kind of the thing you wanted to see from Jungle Boy. And then he locks in the snare trap and taps Luchasaurus' bitch ass out. Number 3 out of 10. Pulling the bronze medal. I gotta say, it's the AEW title match. This match was good, but it wasn't the best match on the show. But these shows are super long. I think if they try to do the best match on the show with all these kickouts and everything like all these other matches have, I think that I would hate the match and probably bury the match. So they did a great job here, understanding that the crowd was going to be a little fatigued from what they've seen. The crowd was fatigued, but they kind of came alive here when MJF came out. They want MJF to win. Moxley, man, you got to feel for Moxley here. He had the GCW title. He had the AEW title. And both times he went to New Jersey, Mox walked into GCW to drop the title to Gage. Hostile environment, to say the least. And then back in New Jersey, comes out to AEW with the title to drop it to MJF. Hostile environment for New Jersey. I don't get it. What's up, New Jersey? Do you hate Mox? Or do you just want to see these, I guess, like, you're the stars of New Jersey, win these titles? Who knows? Because there was definitely a point where they wanted MJF to win so bad that they just straight up were turning on Mox, negative Mox chants, not just cheering for MJF. But MJF gets a table and hits a pile driver on the apron, not through the table, and ends up hurting his knee, and then gets pile driving through the table. Paradigm shift, 1, 2, MJF kicks out. Mox goes after the knee, locking in a figure four. MJF turns it, and this was a face spot here. This was meant for people to cheer MJF here, so they knew what was happening in the back as well. Fuck you, Mox chants. Avalanche paradigm shift 1-2. MJF grabs the rope, unable to finish the match. Mox is again. Regal comes out. We're all like, okay, this is great. He's obviously here to help Jon Moxley. Psych as fuck. He slides. MJF, the brass knucks, boom, clocks him. 1, 2, 3. We have a new champion. In true MJF fashion, he goes and cuts a sick promo during the press conference, but I feel like the press, they had to no sell it. They couldn't like show their, they couldn't just like mark out like everyone in New Jersey was marking out. It was just like to nothing. But Tony Khan just looked unimpressed behind him. So I don't know how this title reign is going to go for MJF. Like we said, they have a hard time booking title reigns. They have a good time. They have they do the come up very well, but they don't do the title reign very well. So given that history, and then giving these odd looks that Tony Khan was doing during this press conference, I guess, I don't know. It was kind of weird, and I guess given the fact that we had like the promo of the year by my man eating muffins, chomping muffins Punk, I guess is what the CM stands for. He cuts that promo, so it's going to pale in comparison to that, even as good as MJF is. And it was just a little awkward. Will this title reign be awkward? The first promo was, even though it was great delivery, we're going to have to tune in to AEW this holiday season and see how it goes. But let's go back into the show. The second best match on the show was the trio titles match. Lots of talk about the fuck CM Punk chants, but I have to say I heard a light fuck Omega chant in reaction to the fuck CM Punk chant, and I went back to make sure before when I was typing this out, I was like, let me make sure I heard it. And I heard it. Like, it was a rebuttal. And then you also have to look at the ratings have gone down since CM Punk has left. The attendance at these shows have gone down since CM Punk has left. So maybe the people that would chant for CM Punk aren't showing up anymore. So is the echo chamber of AEW getting smaller and yelling what the elite want to hear, while the world around them are saying like, what, we're tired of you guys. We've seen you guys for 3 years now. Look at Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They kind of had to move on. The Dark Order has kind of slipped away into the background. All these kind of, best friends kind of evolved in bringing in Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, and they kind of slipped into the background. You see, the Jericho Appreciation Society once was the Inner Circle. So all these things have evolved in the last 3 years, but the elite seem to want to stay the elite as numbers are going down, not plummeting. I almost said plummeting, but they're just, slowly going down. Is someone need to, hey, change this up, do something different here, guys. But they don't need to do anything different here. This match was amazing. Sick Candron's entrance song. Old song, but fucking cool song, especially to come out to with an arena full of people. That's arena rock. So you're coming out to an arena rock song and full of arena. They nailed that shit. And this is, going to a best of 7 series. And if this first match was any indication, I'm tuning in for the rest of the 6. Bunch of spots, of course. Bucks and Lucha Bros get people on their feet every time. Huge 3D move from the Lucha Brothers. All of Death Triangle counter the elite into a pile driver all at once. That was kind of cool. I can tell I got really excited because I couldn't read my notes in this match. So if that says anything about how cool this match is, it was just a bunch of dribble and chicken scratch that I can't even read. But I was excited. I like this match. Pac wants Phoenix to hit one of the elite with a hammer. He doesn't want to do it at first, but then when he gets tied up in the one-winged angel, he cracks Kenny Omega in the top of the head. 1, 2, 3. Death Trial retain, which you got to give it up for the surprise victory there. Everyone thought that this was just going to be the culmination of handing the titles over from Death Triangle, but here They won, and they progressed their storyline a little bit. Now we have definitive heels here. We have the Wayward Sons versus the guys that will cheat. I'm excited for these next 6 matches. Death Triangle is amazing. The Elite are amazing. I think I'm not on the Punk side. I'm not on the Elite side. I'm down the middle. I think they're all great, and they should work together to keep AEW afloat. Now that I see the narrative is going one direction, I'm interested to see how this will work for AEW. But the number one best match on the show, the ROH title match, Jericho versus Danielson versus Claudio versus Sammy. I think this was the third or fourth pay-per-view in a row where Danielson or Jericho got the best match. I mean, they're just quietly having the best matches on the show, in my opinion. They're great matches. Sammy versus Danielson and Jericho versus Claudio, they brawl to start things off. They kind of separate, split off into pairs. Fuck you, Sammy chants. So top heel in AEW right now has to be Sammy Guevara. He gets booed wherever he goes, and he wants to get booed. And now that MJF is a face, I see Sammy as the top heel. I don't care how Dubai boxing crowds treat him. When he comes to America, he's the most over heel in any building he walks into. Sammy hits the Spanish Fly and goes to pin the opponent, but gets broken up with by a lion salt from Jericho. Walls of Jericho get broken up by a suplex by Claudio. This was pretty cool. And then Sammy hits a GTH shooting star to Jericho. The crowd wasn't chanting "fuck you, Sammy" to that. They were popping like he was a face. So he can turn the crowd, by the moves he does in the ring. 1, 2, Jericho kicks out. Claudio launches Sammy into Jericho, turns around by Psycho Me from Danielson. 1, 2, Claudio kicks out. Claudio catches Danielson in midair and turns it into a neuralizer. Sammy gets hit with an uppercut. 1, 2, Sammy kicks out. Judas Effect. 1, 2, 3, Jericho pins Claudio and retains the ROH title. Best match on the show. Let me know what you guys think is the best match on the show on Twitter or on YouTube, at JG Pro Wrestling on Twitter, and Main Event Marks on YouTube, or you can hit me up on Instagram, running down a DRM to talk about wrestling or running or whatever you want to talk about. But right now we're going to be talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom's joint show, the crossover. After I drink a little bit of coffee. You gotta love Bones Coffee. If I was going to get a sponsor of my choice within reason, I would want it to be Bones Coffee. Maybe Dude Wipes, Liquid Death would be on that list as well. They got a lot of holiday blends, and they taste very good. But New Japan crossover. Japan has been doing this all year long. They've been having these big showcase joint promotion shows that are really long, but don't really get good until the last 2 or 3 matches. You started off here with the Young Lions match that took place in front of as many people as the Ryback and Kalisto US title match from WrestleMania 32 did. I decided that I was going to skip any 8-man, 6-man tags and just get to the meat and potatoes of this show. And there was a lot of that, so I skipped a lot of 8-man tags. There was even a whole battle royal at the beginning from Stardom. I'm gonna probably go back and watch that. That looked pretty cool. But then I got tricked. Zack Sabre Jr. and Gulia versus Tom Lawler and Saraya. I don't watch Stardom too much. I've seen maybe about 15 shows throughout a 4-year period. So if I butchered these names, I apologize. Let me know in the comments how bad I'm saying these names wrong. Let me know how to pronounce them correctly. But I wanted to watch this one. This was the first mixed tag match on the show, so it kind of hooked me a little bit. I didn't know how many were to come. And it was an okay match. Zack Sabre Jr. and Julia got the victory. But then there was a bunch of mixed tag matches. There was a Suzuki Gun versus Suzuki Gun match on here. LIJ versus United Empire. What's happening with Naito here? It's Wrestle Kingdom season here. He needs to be getting pushed to the top in a top match. I mean, of course, we don't have all the matches yet. We're going to break down the ones that we do have. But I want to see more from Naito. I want to see more from New Japan and Naito here. He was a huge star when New Japan was at its peak in 2017, 2018. And it feels like going into 2022, despite him, kind of putting the whole company on his back for the darkest times, he is not getting any love here. Then we get another multi-man tag match, but this one was great because, of course, it was Yano, Okada, and the Great Muta versus Okan, Cobb, and Hanare. The Muta retirement tour has been a blast, been the best retirement tour since Kobe's. Let's hope it doesn't last as long as Kiss's retirement tour. Misses the mist. Okan uses his ponytail to choke Muta out, bringing him to the outside. Muta chokes him out with the mic cord. Back in the ring, Cobb mocking Muta. Okan paying homage to Muta. Rainmaker to Hanare. 1, 2, 3. Chaos and the Great Muta get the victory. But this match, felt good. Felt like a big deal. Felt like we were seeing something special. And it kind of set the pace for the rest of the show. The last two, the main events, were amazing here. Shota Umino versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP US title. Ospreay has done a great job at doing something that no one else has been able to do, and that's making this US title mean something, which we'll get into that a little later. Umino's own father is the referee here. That played into the match here. Ospreay with Hayabusa tights. Looks pretty sick. 10 minutes in, Ospreay hitting a standing shooting star. Umino gets his knees up. And then Ospreay hits a Liger bomb. Both men down. Pace picks up. Ospreay hits a 450 in Hayabusa pants. That looked pretty cool. Os cutter 1, 2. Umino kicks out. Won't stay down. Clobbering blows from Ospreay. Then turns into stomps. Referee getting involved. Announcers are saying, why won't a father step in here? This must be pretty hard for him. And I'm thinking the same thing. Umino hits a Death Rider 1-2. Ospreay kicks out. Double arm elevated DDT 1-2. Ospreay kicks out. Hidden Blade 1-2. No. Stormbreaker 1-2 3. Ospreay finally puts Umino down. And then in celebrating, we get what has come to be a staple of the Wrestle Kingdom build. We get a video package from the challenger. Kenny Omega comes on the screen, challenges Ospreay for the IWGP US title at Wrestle Kingdom. So the original holder of the IWGP US Championship versus the best US champion of all time. GOAT versus GOAT. Who is the GOATest of all time? We will have to tune into Wrestle Kingdom to find out. But that wasn't even the main event. They crowned the IWGP Women's Champion for the first time ever. Kairi, formerly Kairi Sane in WWE versus Mayu Iwatani. Like I said, I don't know much about Stardom, but I know these wrestlers. Of course, from Kairi, more from WWE and NXT, but I do Mayu Iwatani. This is great. Kairi Sane went on to WWE, wrestling in WrestleMania and getting injured by Nia Jax, but the whole time Mayu Iwatani stayed in Stardom and put the promotion on her back and elevated it to a higher place than Kairi had ever taken it. But Kairi had elevated herself based on the platform that she had from Stardom, going bigger than anyone else in Stardom has ever gone before. And now they both meet for this title. The story is right fucking there. I would say it writes itself, but we all know that's not true. The great booker of Stardom had to have put this together. Amazing shit. Going into the match, though, they battle up the ramp. Back in the ring, Mayu Iwatani hits a frog splash 1-2. Kairi kicks out. Moonsault. No one home. Then Kairi takes advantage. He hits a crossbody from the top of the turnbuckle all the way to the floor. Big spinning back forearm. Then Mayu kind of just like not even giving a fuck, just smiling at Kairi, kind of begging her to hit her with her best shot. Almost like Pat Benatar. She says fire away. Super kick from Mayu. Tombstone. Dragon suplex. 1-2. Kairi kicks out of all that. Wheelbarrow. Elbow off the top rope. And then she hits another elbow off the top rope. 1-2. Mayu kicks out. Crucifix bomb. 1-2. Kairi Sane kicks out. Dragon suplex. 1-2. Neither competitor can put the other away. Huge elbow from Kairi Sane. 1-2 3. Right dagger to the heart. Great elbow drop. Kairi Sane, I'll say right now, better elbow drop than Macho Man. Boom, I said that. And, you can tell Jim Crockett Promotions, you can tell Jim Cornette, you can tell whoever you want that I think that. But Kairi Sane has a better elbow drop than Macho Man Randy Savage. And I love Macho Man. Kairi is the Savage in 2022. And just like, we saw what the U.S. title can become in the last few years. It can go from nothing to the most anticipated match at Wrestle Kingdom. In the very next match, we see the foundation for the newest title, the IWGP Women's Championship. Great shit here. Let's go into Wrestle Kingdom. A little early predictions here. One night again, Wrestle Kingdom is better in one night. WrestleMania, better with 2 nights. And even though Wrestle Kingdom started the 2-night thing, the 2-night event extravaganza thing, I think that it's good that they went back to 1 night. Let's give some early breakdowns here. Ospreay versus Omega. This match is going to kill. I think it will be the best match on the card. I don't think any match is going to be able to follow this one. And I think Ospreay beats Omega in the Tokyo Dome. Tam Nakano, versus Kairi Sane, the new champion. I don't see the title changing hands here, but just having such a marquee women's match on a show as big as Wrestle Kingdom is saying something for Stardom here. They have been having a few women's matches in the undercard, and people kind of been hearing about Stardom through like Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter and Kairi Sane, but now this has got to be the biggest match in Stardom history, and it's cool to see, and I think Kairi Sane's going to win. Okada versus Jay White. Okada is going to win his title back. Jay White is going to stall and try to control the pace, but it's Wrestle Kingdom. It's Okada. We have seen the ending of this before, and that's why we're signing back up. He wins with the Rainmaker, baby. Gold confetti flies all over Tokyo. He stands there prominent. We've seen this before. Okada's getting the victory. The junior title. Hiromu, El Desperado, Taiji Ishimori, and Master Wato. One of these things is not like the other. It should be a triple threat. It'd be better as a triple threat, but Master Wato has a big opportunity to prove me wrong here. I think, he's the one that's going to be eating the pin at the end of the day, and I think he's going to be eating the pin from Hiromu Takahashi, who's going to get the junior title. Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. This match is going to be awesome. For the television championship, I see Ren Narita winning. I think that's going to be like his title, much like Nakamura had the IC title, and he elevated that up to as high as he could, and Ospreay had the US title, and he's elevating that up to these prestigious ranks that we're seeing right now. I think that Ren Narita has a chance to do that with his championship, which is going to be the television title. And that's Wrestle Kingdom early predictions. Of course, we're going to keep up with it throughout. It was cool to see Leo Rush in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's doing the junior tag league. He's over there, and I bet he's going to just stay over there for the whole Wrestle Kingdom event and everything like that. But there's another big event happening this weekend before Wrestle Kingdom, and that's Survivor Series. Haven't talked a lot about WWE on this show, but we're going to be giving you our predictions, or my predictions, for Survivor Series. 5 matches on this show. Only 5 matches, but you know that Survivor Series, takes a long time. I think this is going to be a traditional Survivor Series matchup here. Oh, no. It's just AJ Styles with Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and Mia Yim versus Finn Balor with Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley. I guess they're all on the outside. Bullet Club leader versus Bullet Club leader here. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. This match is going to be great. I mean, you got the in-ring check. You got the pageantry of WWE with all the people on the outside check. I bet this match will be the best match on the show. I'll just say right in here. And then you have the WWE US title triple threat. Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory. It's really cool to see. Much like the U.S. title got elevated in, New Japan, the U.S. title in Raw has been elevated here a lot lately because Roman has both of the titles. So you just elevate the U.S. title. I think this is good for everybody here because, when the titles do get split up, you're still going to have that U.S. title have that prestigious history behind it, a little more so than it already has. But they kind of been burying Austin Theory a lot here lately. You got, three, it's a triple threat match, so I think Austin Theory is going to pin Bobby Lashley in some chicken shit manner and get the U.S. title back on his waist. The WWE SmackDown Women's title match, Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Shotzi's crazy. This is going to be fun, and Ronda Rousey, she's been winning me over. She needs to just go full heel. And I think it's going to be Ronda Rousey get the victory. And then we have the War Games 10-man tag team match. Wait. It says 10-man, but this is ladies. This is ladies. Come on, cage match. 10-lady tag match. Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky teaming with Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley versus the mystery partner who, if it isn't Sasha Banks, Boston will turn on this whole show, teaming with Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Mia Yim. This match should be fun. A lot of plunder here. I'm interested to see what Io Sky does. I'm interested to see what Nikki Cross does on such a high platform here. Asuka's always fun to watch. Bianca Belair is always fun to watch. But I could not care less who wins. I'm going to go with the good guys if Sasha comes back. Rumor is they haven't finalized that yet. And if it's someone like Candice LeRae, I worry about this whole show and then think the heels are going to win. So if you see Sasha come out, it's going with Sasha. If Sasha doesn't come out, it's going the other way. And then we got the War Games 10-man tag team match. Drew, KO, the Brawling Brutes, Butch, Rich Holland, and Sheamus versus the Bloodline. Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and Solo Sikoa. We've seen this all before. We know what's going to happen here. The Bloodline is going to stand tall. You're going to have Roman look as best as he can possibly look going into WrestleMania, no matter what. But hopefully we get something that teases into WrestleMania, teases into the Royal Rumble here. Maybe the cage lifts, all the good guys leave, the Bloodline standing tall, and then we get The Rock or something, or then we get, Cody comes back and challenges Roman Reigns or something like that. Something's got to happen here. We're too far out from WrestleMania to make Roman, to start making Roman look weak now. We're too close to WrestleMania to start making Roman look weak now, but we're not there yet. There needs to be something that happens that hooks you into WrestleMania, but doesn't give you too much to where you don't care about the Royal Rumble. I don't know what that's going to be, but that's what I'm kind of thinking, and that's what I'm looking for. I think we're going to see, as they're celebrating, video on the screen, The Rock says, hey, you say you're head of the table, I'm head of the table. Let's go. But I don't know. Maybe Cody comes back. What's Bray Wyatt going to do? Survivor Series is going to be a fun show, as always, as it's been since the 80s. I'm looking forward to tuning in, and I'll give you guys a review and rank every single match from worst to first on that show. Next Curtain Jerkin. As always, guys, fly high. I'm out.